Peace, love, and good vibes. What's up, everybody? Welcome back, subscribers, and hello, visitors. Visitors, if you find this video interesting or this channel interesting, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to be talking about the Great Conjunction happening December 21st, 2020. Now, the Great Conjunction is when Jupiter and Saturn appear to be so close to each other in the night sky. And this hasn't happened since March 4th, 1226. So it's been about 800 years. And this is a celestial phenomenon that happens every 800 years. So this is going to definitely be interesting. It's going to be a treat, especially for those of us who like astrology and who like things dealing with celestial events. So before we get into going a little deeper and talking more about the Great Conjunction, I wanted to share with you guys also some interesting news. This is national news, and this happened in Italy. A man apparently had an argument with his wife, and so to calm down, he went on a 280-mile hike, or as they were saying, a 280-mile walk, and he ended up getting a citation for breaching the coronavirus restrictions. So for him to go on that 280-mile walk or that 280-mile hike, that must have been one hell of an argument he had with his wife. Because that I just can't see. Yes. My husband went for a 280-mile walk to calm down after an argument with his wife. He then got fined for breaching coronavirus lockdown regulations. So an unarmed Italian husband walked 280 miles to calm down after arguing with his wife. He was hiking for a week before police found him. Italy has strict curfew between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. The man was fined for breaching this regulation. The man was a little tired but otherwise healthy, according to the Italian newspaper. So he was 48 years old, or he is 48 years old, and he left Como in the north of Italy and traveled 280 miles south over a period of a week. So he walked 40 miles a day in an attempt to soothe his anger, according to the Independent. So we know that when you're stressed out or you're angry, and we know that these are the things that you can do to try to calm yourself down, but damn, a 280-mile hike, walking 40 miles a day, he must have been like hella angry. And I'm assuming he did this in order to keep from hurting his wife, which is good because we don't want anyone to get hurt or anything like that or anything of that nature. So if that helps him, that helps him. But normally, people just kind of like hit the punching bag or go for a jog, a short walk, not 280 miles. And, they meditate. People release anger and stress in many different ways. But this I think takes the cake. So eventually, the man reached Fano, a beach resort in the Adriatic coast. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Across Italy, current lockdown regulations mean that a nationwide curfew is in place between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. The police, performing a standard search for rule breakers, came across the man at around about 2 a.m. So they questioned him, and they were reportedly shocked to discover he'd covered such a distance. Yeah, I'd be shocked too. So they put him up in a hotel, according to the Italian newspaper, and he was fined $485 for breaking the curfew. But yeah, that was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yes. All right. So now let's get into the conjunction. Let's start talking about the conjunction and how this the Great Conjunction will be in the sign of Aquarius. And it's going to be less intense for these signs, Gemini, Cancer, Pisces. It is going to be major changes for these signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, according to bustle.com. And I'll also leave that in the information section or comment section. So if you want to go check out the article for yourselves, you can. And also, we're going to get into that a little bit later, how that's going to affect those signs, as well as how it's going to affect Aries, Virgo, Sagittarius, Libra, and Capricorn. Wow. All right. So, yes. And as we know, these certain planetary alignments and these conjunctions, they do affect us in many different ways, whether we pay attention to it or not, because even when we talk about the different moon phases affect people's energies. They affect their vibrations, their attitudes. All of that comes along with it, because whether you know this or not, heard this or not, or believe it or not, because whenever, and the moon is of course controlled by the tides, but we are affected in some way, form, or another, because so above, so below. So what goes on in the heavens and the celestial bodies definitely affects us here on Earth. All right, so let's get into the article, and this article can be found at cbsnews.com. Before 2020 comes to a close, Jupiter and Saturn will be so close that they appear to be a double planet. The Great Conjunction, as the planet alignment has come to be known, hasn't occurred in nearly 800 years. When their orbits align every 20 years, Jupiter and Saturn get extremely close to one another. This occurs because Jupiter orbits the Sun every 12 years, while Saturn's orbit takes 30 years. Every couple of decades, Jupiter laps Saturn, according to NASA. So, and I want to show you guys something. Just in case you're not familiar or you forgot, Saturn is the planet with the rings. And Jupiter, that's the planet that has this type of energy of, let's just say, like the fun energy. So Jupiter's energy is known as the fun planet, whereas Saturn has, it's most known, or it's most famous for its rings. And I would have to say Saturn is probably one of my favorite planets because of the rings. And I have a story about that. A few years ago, I went to the State Museum in Columbia, here in Columbia, South Carolina, and they had had astronomy night, and so we were able to look through the telescopes and see all of the different planets and the moon. And it was really cool because I got an opportunity to see Saturn through the telescope up close and personal. So here I have my planet pillow. I'm gonna scoop this back a little bit so you guys can see it. Okay, so I have here Saturn, and this is Jupiter, and this is pretty much apparently almost how close they're going to appear in the night sky on Monday, December 21st. But although they're going to be close together, they're going to be about 0.1. Is it degrees? Or yes, 0.1 degrees apart. It's going to appear that way in the night sky, but then again, of course, they're going to be, although they're going to appear very close, they're still going to be very far apart. Just one of those wacky science things, right? So, speaking of telescopes, and I think that it'll be visible where you can see it with the naked eye, but just recently I purchased this telescope, and this is the Explore 1 telescope, and it's a telescope for beginners and pretty much for kids, But definitely I am looking at getting a little more advanced telescope, although I am an amateur astrologer. Yeah, so right here, this is where you can line up your shot. It's like a viewfinder, so you can find out what exactly it is that you want to looking at, or the planet that you want to look at. And it's even used for bird watching as well. But I don't do any bird watching or anything of that nature. And it also has a compartment where you can attach your cell phone. You have to, I believe, you remove this piece and put the cell phone on there. But anywho, and then here is the tray where you can put your different eyepieces once you finish using them. So they always say you want to start with the larger eyepiece first so that you can find your target. Well, that's just a little bit about the telescope that I have. So let's finish up with this video talking about the conjunctions. So in astrology, a conjunction is when two or more planets line up exactly. When they line up, their vibrations blend and work together. So when these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, line up together, they're going to bring a certain energy. And they're going to bring a certain type of vibration, because they're going to be, I guess you could do, for a lack of better words, they're going to be feeding off of each other, the planet of Saturn and the planet of Jupiter. Right? They're going to be feeding off of each other's energy, or in other words, they're going to be sharing energies together. I guess you could put it in that perspective. So basically, they're saying that they're going to wait, lost my train of thought. Right. So, and they also said that it's going to shake up things politically and socially, and also things going on in your personal life. So we want to go ahead and get into that as well. I hate to stop this video. Man, I hate to stop this video, but I have to, because I've got a lot of other things going on. But I wanted to go into deeper detail with this, but I've got to stop this video, unfortunately. And I hate that, because I've waited kind of late to put this together. But I will definitely come back with a part 2, and it'll definitely be before the 21st. So I do apologize. I've got some things that I've got to do. I've got a text message that I've got to answer. So I've got to go. But in the meantime, in between time, just keep in mind bustle.com and cbsnews.com. And I will be back with this video as soon, with the second part of this video, as soon as I can. I do apologize. But thank you so much for joining me. Peace, love, and good vibes.